And you just said, I promise you, Ohio friends, if we go backwards, start telling residents that what they can do in their homes, who it's acceptable to love, and yes, the government will control your body, college grads, young professionals who 70% disagree won't come here no matter what. So do we want to be Minnesota or Alabama? And I think that's a great way to pose it, right? I mean, and Rachel Maddow talked about this last night. You can't be 70% out of step with what most Americans want, whether it's, no abortion ban or for unions, right?
Or for unions, or, they've done it on gun safety, although we're getting better. They've done it on gay rights, though. Thankfully, the courts took care of that, although they'll try to overturn that. And now we've got creepy, gay banning Mike Johnson in the House, that weirdo porn-loving. Hey, look, I didn't notice yesterday, but today I seem to have a black sun. It's amazing. Black suns come out of nowhere. You never know when you'll get one.
And sharing his porn history with them.
Yeah. You tweeted, I told you this MFer was creepy. The fundamentalism, the body language, now no bank account, the black son, brother, and his son porn. They always project. I promise you there's going to be so much more. I mean, oh my God. He and his son monitored each other's porn intake. I can't even get my mind around the weirdness of that.
It is so, everything is so creepy with these people, because I'm just sorry, I'm just going to say it. Fundamentalism is not religion, it's a cult. There's healthy, many healthy forms of religion, of Episcopalianism and Presbyterianism and Reformed Judaism and, Islam and any religion where it's moderate and it's something that you do to meditate, relax, believe in a higher power, and then there's cults.
Yeah.
Fundamentalism is a cult. That's why you can see with the covenant marriage and covenant eyes. They really like the word covenant. Yeah. They're creepy, weird people. And again, you bring me back to where you began all of this with the tweet of mine you read, which is why places like Ohio have to vote to be pro-choice, because it is these creepy weirdos, that 30% who have gerrymandered their way, tried to ignore the courts, mostly ignored the courts, and found a way to have disproportionate control over a state that is barely Republican here. That, if they do that, I'm sorry, even people leaving the coasts are going to go, as I said in that thing, they'll go to Pittsburgh because Pennsylvania's pro-choice. They'll go to Minneapolis because Minnesota's pro-choice. They're not going to come to Cincinnati. I don't care that we're having a renaissance here and having these companies that are Procter & Gamble and these huge companies hiring. If you want to chase away, a positive economic future, and we want to head in the direction of a low wage, low rights, developing world, Alabama, economy, do it then. And then my kids will never come back here and we'll move away. You'll lose everybody, who has a college education here.
Well, and also, like I was saying to Jody, that's the other thing. It's just there's such a misogyny too in people feeling like, oh, the little ladies will just forget about that by the time it's time to vote. It's like no. Women don't just forget about losing their bodily autonomy. This issue is going to be a live wire all the way up for the next year, don't you think?
Maybe if you've got the baby voice like Mike Johnson's wife, like hello, I do whatever my husband tells me to do. But if you're an actual normal woman who believes you should have rights and equality and equal pay and everything else that those of us who live in the 21st century believe, yes, you won't forget about you won't just be like, oh, darn, I forgot about my reproductive rights again,
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Rachel Maddow did this last night. 12% of Kentucky voters, where they're going to vote for governor, support the total abortion ban in the state. She said the one last number I think isn't getting the attention it should. It's this number. Here's another one. 71% support Americans have a favorable view of labor unions by a huge margin right now. That's higher than any time in my lifetime, higher than since the 60s. 12% of Kentuckians support the total abortion ban. Glenn Youngkin's telling you there'll be a total abortion ban. Come out at the polls today. They're running on issues that 70% of the American people are against, right?
Right, and particularly in these kinds of states. Virginia is a lean blue state. Ohio is a lean red, but still purplish state. And you're absolutely right. They're doing these things because they just don't care. And what that tells you is it tells you that how much they've destroyed so many aspects of our democracy. It tells you where, the governor's son here, Mike DeWine, his son Pat DeWine, who has legislated to ban abortion, ban birth control, ban all that, And then, of course, last week came out his wife had sued for divorce because he was cheating on her. He was committing domestic abuse. It is always the same with these guys. The ones that want to tell the rest of us how to behave, it's because they don't know how to behave because they're terrible people. And so they only can get away with this stuff because when they gerrymander enough, and the electoral college advantage, and all of that, if they can make it so that they can win with only 35% support, they can keep winning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's maybe a half dozen to 10 states where they might have close to a majority, and they all have more cows than people.